on Myanmar issue มีการทำขั้นตอนplease come no
ได้อยู่ประชาชนเสียงเท่านี้ก็โอเคสวัสดีท่านผู้ชมสวัสดีแฟนเพจอินสีแดงครับเรายังอยู่กันที่ Fcct นะครับหรือว่าสมาคมผู้สื่อข่าวต่างประเทศแห่งประเทศไทยนะครับก็อยู่กันที่ตรง BTS สีลมนะครับวันนี้ก็ถือว่าเรามากันตั้งแต่หมายแรกแล้วนะครับกับการแถลงนะครับแถลงของเดี๋ยวเราจะใช้ใหม่ในช่วงที่คุณณัฐพงษ์แล้วก็คุณสิริกัญญานั้นเสวนานะครับวันนี้เราก็ติดตามกันตั้งแต่เช้าแล้วนะครับในช่วงของการแถลงฟรีดอมนะครับเป็นการเปิดตัวของโครงการฟรีดอมบิดนะครับซึ่งก็จะมีวงเสวนา2วงในช่วงก่อนหน้านี้เนาะช่วงตั้งแต่เวลา 13 นาฬิกาเป็นต้นมานะครับซึ่งในวงเสวนาแรกก็จะพูดในประเด็นนะครับในเรือนจำคุณภาพชีวิตของนักโทษการเมืองนะครับซึ่งก็จะมีผู้ที่ต้องโทษทางคดีทางการเมืองนะครับคุณปฏิมาและก็จะมีทางทนายของศูนย์ทนายสิทธิ์เพื่อสิทธินะครับที่มาร่วมวงเสวนาด้วยนะครับแล้วก็จะมีวงที่2ก็จะเป็นการพูดในเรื่องของนิรโทษกรรมเนาะเราแซนบายกันนิดหนึ่งเนาะขึ้นไลฟ์เร็วนิดหนึ่งเพราะว่าเตรียมในเรื่องของการเซตอุปกรณ์ด้วยและหลังจากที่มีในช่วงของการเสวนานะครับในช่วงของคุณณัฐพงษ์และคุณใหม่นั้นเราก็คงจะต้องใช้ใหม่นะครับซึ่งวันนี้ก็ต้องอยู่ไกลถอยหลังมาค่อนข้างเยอะเลยเพราะว่าตรงด้านหน้านั้นก็จะเป็นโต๊ะของผู้ที่เข้ามาฟังเสวนาในครั้งนี้จะต้องเป็นสมาชิกแล้วก็ได้รับการจองนะครับต้องจองโต๊ะกันนะครับแล้วก็ส่วนสื่อนะครับที่มีการแจ้งหมายข่าวในสื่อห้องสื่อของก้าวไกลนั้นก็โอเคเนาะสื่อส่วนหนึ่งเราก็ซื้อบัตรเช่นกันเนาะก็ส่วนนี้ก็ต้องขอบคุณเฟรนด์ทอล์กนะครับที่เราได้อยู่กันตรงนี้ก็เราก็ซื้อบัตรกันนะครับเพื่อที่เห็นบรรยากาศและก็ได้รับการอนุญาตที่จะมีในช่วงของเสวนาระหว่างพรรคประชาชนที่จะพูดคุยกับถือว่าเป็นสมาชิกที่เข้ามานะครับด้วยเป็นวงเสวนานั้นก็จะเป็นในแนวของภาษาอังกฤษเพราะว่าเราเห็นว่าชาวต่างชาตินะครับวันนี้เราเห็นว่าชาวต่างชาติทั้งนั้นเลยแล้วก็โต๊ะด้านหน้าเราถูกจองเต็มแล้วก็ใกล้เวลาก็คงจะเข้ามานั่งกันนะครับเรามีลำโพงอยู่ทางด้านหลังก็อาศัยลำโพงทางด้านหลังก็เสียงคาดว่าคงจะชัดแต่ว่าด้านหน้าเราเห็นว่ามีโลโก้นะครับพอเปิดฉากก็จะมีโลโก้ของ Fcct นะครับทักทายสวัสดีคุณสตาร์ครับสวัสดีคุณฮาครับ ายถึงจะย้ายลำโพงใช่ไหมนี่ต้องแตกไม่ได้เกมไม่ได้มีอะไรใส่มาใช่ป่ะ
My long-term goal is to work on this right now. The other sector is like coming out of March. I think it's a cool guy. I think it's the one thing that guys actually can do. Never like I've been meeting so many observers the past there's so many purposes. Yeah. I'm from the Netherlands. Long-standing imperial relations.
เราต้องย้ายจุดเพราะว่าเราย้ายลำโพงนิดนึงเพราะว่าจุดที่เราเอาไมค์ไปไว้นั้นก็จะเป็นจุดที่เป็นที่สนทนากันเนาะก็อาจจะมีเสียงเข้าฉะนั้นเราย้ายมาจุดตรงด้านหลังเรานะครับอีกไม่นานนะครับขณะนี้เวลา 19:04 นาทีแล้วนะครับก็อยากให้เห็นบรรยากาศแล้วก็แนวทางในการพูดคุยของพรรคประชาชนกันมากกว่าแม้ว่าจะเป็นภาษาอังกฤษก็ตามนะครับแต่ว่าสื่อนั้นก็จะได้ออกไปทั่วโลกว่าพรรคประชาชนนั้นยังมีแนวทางในการทำงานอย่างที่รับปากกับพี่น้องประชาชนไว้หรือไม่นะครับแนวทางในการทำงานหลังจากที่จากก้าวไกลมาสู่พรรคประชาชนนะครับ
Don't love it.
สวัสดีคุณนีนะนะครับก็เดี๋ยวเราก็อาจจะได้ติดตามสื่อต่างประเทศที่ยิงคำถามหรือว่าตั้งคำถามกับพรรคประชาชนเนาะก็การที่ตั้งคำถามซึ่งก็อาจจะดูแนวทางในการตั้งคำถามว่าจะสื่อเหมือนสื่อไทยเราหรือไม่นะครับก็สำหรับผู้ที่เป็นสมาชิกหรือว่าซื้อบัตรเข้ามาอย่างเวทีหรือว่าตรงจุดเสวนาตรงนี้ก็400 กว่าบาทสำหรับผู้ที่จองโต๊ะนะก็ส่วนสื่อนั้นก็ซื้อบัตรด้วยเช่นกันนะครับส่วนสื่อก็อาจจะลดลงไปนิดนึงเราอยากเห็นบรรยากาศกันมากกว่านะครับในเมื่อเรามาถึงจุดนี้แล้วนะครับทางพรรคประชาชนเนาะก็วางหมายข่าวไว้ในห้องสื่อวันนี้ก็อาจจะเหลือ 2-3 สื่อโดยประมาณนะครับที่ยังอยู่ตรงนี้นะครับสำหรับสื่ออิสระแล้วก็สื่อที่ติดตามทางการเมืองนะครับเดี๋ยวในช่วงของการสนทนาเนาะเราก็คงจะดึงภาพได้ประมาณนี้นะครับส่วนเสียงก็คาดว่าจะชัดแต่ว่าภาพนั้นก็อาจจะไม่ชัดบ้างเพราะว่าอยู่ไกลพอสมควรเนาะก็เราคิดถึงตอนเวทีหาเสียงนะครับเราก็อาจจะอยู่ประมาณนี้หรือว่าอาจจะใกล้กว่านี้นะครับจริงๆถ้าเรามีไวเลสเนาะก็อาจจะสามารถไปเกาะขอบเวทีได้นะครับแต่เนื่องด้วยการจัดสถานที่นะครับก็อาจจะเปรียบเสมือนงานเลี้ยงเนาะแต่จริงๆแล้วก็เป็นการที่มารับฟังการสนทนาหรือว่าแนวทางในการทำงานของพรรคก้าวไกลมากกว่านะครับแต่ว่าก็อาจจะเป็นการใช้สถานที่ตรงนี้แล้วก็อาจจะมีในเรื่องของค่าใช้จ่ายสถานที่นะครับ
Germany, for example, right? Like Berlin, Munich, a few others. There are many that not just Berlin, everything. In the US, for example, tomorrow it's not right? Like we still have San Diego, Los Angeles.
ladies and gentlemen, we'll start shortly, so please take a seat. Order your drinks. We'll start in a couple of minutes.
เดี๋ยวขออนุญาตสลับไมค์นะครับ
All right. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Foreign Correspondent Club of Thailand. My name is Phanupongchaum. I'm the senior correspondent for Reuters and the vice president of the Fcct. Welcome to a very special evening today, where we are going to be meeting with two key figures in the new People's Party, the opposition People's Party. Of course, Thailand's disbanded the Move Forward Party last month, and they regrouped into this new political vehicle, the People's Party, after it was dissolved by the Constitutional Court. Under this new leadership, Thapong Rungpanyawut, who's only 37, one of the youngest political leaders in the country, the party is vowed to carry on its mission in parliament to push for major reforms in Thai politics. This includes amending military drafted constitution and push forward many liberal agendas that Move Forward has previously proposed, winning them the most parliamentary seat in the last general election. Since the dissolution, Thailand has also seen the dismissal of former Premier Sethar Thavisin by the same court for ethics violation. A parliamentary vote has elected Paetongtarn Shinawatra as the country's youngest prime minister. And of course, the rest is history. We know now where we are today. So we want to really hear from the People's Party about their agenda, their work, and how they see the current Thai political landscape. So without further ado, I want to invite Kun Nathapong or Kun Teng to speak. Thank you.
Thank you, Kun Panu. Thank you, everyone that all gathered to be here tonight. And thank to Fcct to invite me and Kun Silikanya to this forum. Despite many people say to me now today that congrats to me as a party leader, but I still disappoint to the Constitutional Court verdict that regarding the dissolution of Move Forward Party. If you can recall, on the 6th March in 2020, Mr. Thanathorn and Mr. Pitha were here after the dissolution of the Future Forward Party. And on that day, Mr. Thanathorn told us that the dissolution of the Future Forward Party was not an end. It was just the beginning of this chapter 2. But for me, I don't want the next chapter to be happen. I just want this is the chapter end of the junta or the coup d'etat in Thailand. Mr. Thanathorn told us that no one can stop the wind of change, the progressive movement of the people that we started 5 years ago. And the last year election results shows that his statement is still true. Our challenges in the next 3 years is regarding how we can win the majority seats in the parliament. I have to accept that this is not an easy task to do, but I truly believe it is possible to achieve. By doing that, we plan to expand our party membership in all areas across the country. Within this year, we will organize the open house event in our province in Thailand. We plan to revise our all 300 policies that Kun Sirikanya may share to you that how we can improve our policy to be suitable the people needs in the next election. Furthermore, we are going to send the candidates in the local election, especially in the provincial level, that we have a good chance to win. That we think that it is a good opportunity for us to deliver the policies to the people and to bring it into reality. This is like the strategic movement for us to gain more people's confidence that we can run the country in the future. Lastly, I will use the short time for introduction and let you like the Q&A session. I am, for personally talk, I have to accept that I think I'm not, that's why I'm not deserve for Thai people as a prime minister. I believe in myself right now, but I truly believe that I can improve myself in the next 3 years. So we plan that I have to travel across the country within a year for 77 provinces. So you can, if you can calculate that, meaning that in 5 days, in every 5 days, I have to go in one province to travel across the country within a year. This occasion will make me ready to be the next prime minister, make me understand the people needs in local areas, and help us to develop the policies that suit the people needs in the rural areas. So that is our current plan and what is our movement. I can tell you that our main priorities, our main policies will be still the same: to protect the human rights, to bring the full democracy to Thailand. That will be and must be the same. You keep continue on that. So it is my very short introduction, and we will give back to you for the Q&A session. Thank you.
Thank you. Before we go to Q&A, I'm going to ask both of you, of course, Napong is joined by Kun Sri Kanya, who currently been elected deputy leader as well of the party, right? So before we go to Q&A, I'm just going to ask a couple of questions, and then you guys can have the microphone. So I think one of the key questions is, you mentioned the Constitutional Court decision, but both of you and 44 others, current and former members of your movement, is facing this ethics probe by the National Anti-Corruption Commission. Do you have any comment on this ongoing threat that maybe 44 of you, including both of you, I think, could be banned for life, right? Either you share to comment on that?
Yeah. For the current situation about the 44 MP cases, the NACC might send the case to the Supreme Court in January, and we all will prepare for the cases. Not only that, for the internal of our party, we prepare like the colleagues and our team to continue our work in all scenarios. What will happen to the 44 MPs? I truly believe that we can continue the movement of our party.
Very well. You want to say something?
Yes, of course. For me, I'm of course one of the victims, and you see how ridiculous this case is. We are the member of the House of Representatives, so our duty is to pass the law. So as we endorse the law to amendment the Article 112 of the criminal court, I don't think that it's considered a violation of ethics at all. But in this country, anything is possible, and it's totally unpredictable because they don't think in rational, logical sense. So we hope for the best, but prepare for the worst. We have our team, our legal team, setting up in order to fight for us against this case as All Might. And of course, we might have faced a temporary ban from the parliament, but we don't think that could can stop us or disrupt our work or our movement at all, because we can still work outside of the parliament as well, and we have our duty to grooming the rest of the MPs who totally new and have around 1 year of experience in the parliament to become even ready when the worst scenarios has come.
Second question for me is, of course, we've been closely watching the by-election in Pitchnulok. I think Kun Keng just mentioned that your mission sort of is to contest in all the local elections. Now we saw the result there went against expectation because you guys won in the general election, but this time around, I guess the other candidates won the day. Do you have any comment on that particular campaign? I mean, what did you notice? Why was the result came out that way?
If you see in the election results, the percentage who votes for the People's Party to the turnout, it is 45%, which is higher than Kun Patipat in the his last election, the former district MP who removed from his position because of the dissolution of the Move Forward Party. So it means that the density of the votes, we have more density on the votes. But there are many factors that may make me lose. I think I have to accept that the people voice. So it is not like the thing that we look into each factor and to claim that why we lose for each reason. I think it is we have to accept the people voice and have to learn how we can improve our next election in the future.
Okay. And a couple more questions before we go to the floor is in terms of policy priority. Now we look at policy and what's going on in Parliament. Many foreign media sometimes follow closely, sometimes not. Can you maybe outline some of these policies that you guys are working on? Maybe some of the things that are your priorities.
Of course. I think it's my turn because I'm the deputy leader responsible for the policy platform of the party. And I'm here to confirm that all of the policy platforms that we placed during the last election, last generation, still going on, still continue. And our priority right now is try to perfect those policies just to be ready for implementation in the next next 3 years. So it's in 2027. So of course there's some policies that we have to continue to drive even though we are in the opposition. So we have all the laws that we trying to push to pass the parliament. For example, the next week, I think our competition law amendment will enter into the first reading of the parliament. That's guarantee our principle that the monopolization in the country, the economic concentration should be handled within the legal framework. So we have to have the better set of competition law. For example, the liquor liberation policy that we have campaigned for so long, like 6 years, have just been delayed of the vote for the first reading, for example. But we still have high hope for that when it comes back, we're gonna get it passed right again. And right now we think we have make it into the mainstream. Every single party has proposed this quite kind of unlike law, trying to liberalize the liquor industry in Thailand for the sake of the retailers, the small entrepreneurs. So that's how we're gonna continue our the whole policy and perfect it to make sure that it's ready for implementation in the next 3 years as we become the government.
The last question for me before we go to the floor is something that I mentioned to both of you earlier. It's something that some of the foreign media has been following, so I got requests about this. There's an undercurrent through I guess beyond the Prisoner Law campaign, but there's a current undercurrent about anti-Myanmar migrants, especially online, many raised by opponents of your party, let's just say, and sometimes zero in on some of your MPs. Do you have any comment on why this is happening? Why suddenly the Myanmar migrant, they've been in Thailand for such a long, an old issue. Why is it suddenly becoming a new thing? I mean, do you or your party has any kind of thoughts on the issue? Thank you.
May I? Because I'm kind of responsible for the debate that it happened. That one of our MP has speaking of this issue, particular issues, in the agenda that of the policy statement that of the new government, and it surprised us too because it's not our first time talking about Myanmar issues, and exactly the same statement that we have in the parliament about how we have to provide all the humanitarian aids for the refugees, especially for the public health. That at the end, if we wouldn't taking care of, it's gonna affect our own citizens, for example, or the education issue. It's a very surprise that the government has just accepted to ratify the Article 22 of what's called the rights of the child treaties, right? And then we have the news. We heard the news that they closed down the learning center in Surat Thani for the displaced Myanmar people. So we have to talk about this in the parliament. That we didn't ask for something really huge. We asked for something very basic and very at the least of the basic human rights. But still, they have have gone to become like a spare back to us. And but I have to make sure that we will standing at the same stance, and we wouldn't change anything, even though we have to try to explain to lots of people, to our own supporters who don't agree with this, but we will try to make them to understand more about the issues, but not going back or stepping back on this stance.
Okay, I think I've asked enough questions. I would like to open the floor to our members and so on. Please, there's a microphone at the back there. Identify yourself. Direct your question to one or both of them. And also, please limit the statement. More questions. Thank you. Please.
Can you hear me? Okay. Hi, thank you. This is Sweetie Wee from the New York Times. Thank you very much for this. I wanted to ask about the amendment of Article 112. Kun Natapong, you said it was it's still very much on the agenda, but the party would not be powerless. Wondering whether you could expand on that. I mean, the Constitutional Court has clearly made it a red line, so how are you going to go forward with it? Thank you.
Thank you for the question. I believe that we have to accept that the Article 112 is still have the serious problem in Thailand with which against like the civil rights in the country, but it is our priority to discuss inside the party that how we are going uh, to do that according to the constitutional court verdict. I think, for example, we 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 may not propose them like in the campaign policy, but we still do have the rights to do it in the parliament. According to the court verdict, they said that it is if it is uh, the normal legislative process or นิติบัญญัติโดยชอบ in Thai, we still can do that. So I can guarantee you that if we accept that it is a problem that we have going to fix it in what ways that we can do.
Thank you. Next, please.
Hi, name's Ian Hollingworth. I'm the Secretary of the International Labour Network. I want to go back to the Bit Settlement by-election that was mentioned previously. Now, on the one hand, you can quite legitimately claim, perhaps, that you are a new party, you haven't had time to bed in and actually create your local links that are necessary to get you elected. On the other hand, there is a feeling in some quarters that your party is little more than a Bangkok-based metropolitan elite. How would you respond to that charge?
What do you think? Bangkok-based metropolitan elite.
Well, for this case, I don't think it's just one by-election that we lost. It's gonna have dictate us that we are just of course our stronghold is in the urban area, but we still can get more and more of the district MPs, especially in the District 1, which is the most urban area in each provinces. And we know we have to do more to win the peoples in the rural areas' heart. And but of course, we are not just Bangkok-based anymore. We have almost 10 MPs from the north and 6 MPs from the northeastern, and we have almost all of the MPs from the eastern part. So the fact that we won 32 seats out of 33 of the MPs in the Bangkok area, it doesn't mean that we are only the Bangkok based. One of the key issues that we really focus on is that we try to expand our network of supporters in every provinces. Is this thing that we have done for since Future Forward, and it's growing and growing. And if you see at the membership of the party, of course the majority is from Bangkok, but we see the proportion of people from the up country is more and more every day, especially with our People's Party member. It's totally distinct from those from the Move Forward Party. We can draw a lot of more brand new members who've never been any members of any political parties before. So it accounts around 20% of our all memberships. So it means that we are expanding. We know our short for that we are not working as much to win in the rural area. It's what we're trying to achieve. And that's all in our plans in the next 3 years as well. So to make sure that we are the party of the people of Thailand, not just Bangkok.
Come on, guys, the mic is there. If people are still working out their question, I might go one more for me. Constitution amendment, right? So this is the big issue, changing the game. I mean, it looks like there's a lot of roadblocks along the way. There's been a lot of delays. What's your view on this process? I know that the party always talks about this issue, but is it achievable? Are we going to have referendum soon? Can you tell us a little bit about this? Thank you.
For the constitution amendment, there are two main tracks to do that. The first one is to amend the whole constitution. But if you look into the process, right now, I believe that the government has delayed the process many times, and there is a very little chance to do the whole amendment before the next general election. It means that if we cannot do that in this track, the next government will be under the current constitution, current disorder system. So we believe that the second option that we can do is just amend article by article. That we already proposed many of the drafts to the parliament right down to fix many things in the current constitution. For example, to limit the power of the independent bodies or the constitutional court to meet the international standards. And many things that we going to amend also is to protect the civil rights and to build the mechanism to prevent the next coup d'etat to be happening again, and also to remove the 20-year strategic plan that is stated in the constitution. So these are the example that we are going to amend the constitution using the second tracks to do that.
Thank you. Goya.
Hello everyone, I'm Goya, a former economic journalist from Thailand. But now I feel jobless because I'm coming back from the UK. By the way, I would like to ask Khun Sri Kanya about the monetary policy, especially the digital wallet that the government already give the money to the people. So as we know that this policy, some may think that it's like a populist policy or something like that. What do you think about this policy, and what do you think like the international media should know about policy? Or do you have any suggestion more about this policy? Thank you.
For Thai media, they know that I'm a big fan of digital wallets, and I follow this very closely. And of course, they just launched the new campaign about giving cash handout for 10,000 baht each for those vulnerable groups who have very small very poor and who own the rights to the welfare card, and those who are disabled. And so that's not the digital wallets that has been pledged during the election campaign, because there's nothing about the digital. They just giving away the cash handout for about 14.5 million people. So if this is the stimulus package, I don't think it's effective, because if you see the result that they will stimulate the economy, it will give only 0.35% of the GDP boost. So we put a lot of money and we gain very few. So it's not quite a very effective way to stimulate the economy in the first place. But we can see this as the cost of living alleviation measures as well, because we suffering from the cost of living for some time, but the government has ran out of the options for the people. But if you look at the amount of money that they give away is 10,000 baht, which is like we can say like it's triple of the poverty lines of the people of those people who get the money. So it's a little bit too much to be the cost of living alleviation plan. So this one is just it's just that they cannot implement the digital wallet scheme that they have faced because the legal issues, they cannot have the enough of money that they want to pay out because it's gonna stack up to 500 billion baht, which is 16% of the total budget, for example. So this is kind of a big deal that if we continue to do this, it will give a lot of fiscal burden to the country, to the economy. The debt to GDP ratio will shoot up to 70% of the GDP, that is the ceiling that we have right now for the fiscal discipline law. And the interest burden will shoot up more than 10% of the government revenue. That is, that easily can see as the sign of downgrading of the credit rating agencies that they had abused for the investment grade sovereignty credit ratings, for example. So this is, it reflects that when the government has become very short-termist, they just want to stimulate the economy in the very short run. And it turns out that it doesn't really turns out well, and they have to postpone and delay the program, this scheme for more than a year now, and it doesn't. So it doesn't seem to be the short-term, the very emergency, the urgent issues anymore about the stimulating the economy. Turns out that just trying to save their face, that they have to commit to the policy they pledge. They have to do anything just to find the way to give away this money, and even though it could hurt a lot to the economy and have very bad consequences afterwards. So this is, I think, it's a very summary of what's going on with this digital wallet.
Jessica.
Hi, good evening. Francesca Regalado with UK Asia. Just picking up on the topic of the economy. Can you explain what's in the competition bill and why it's going to be the first economy-related priority for People's Party? And second, I know you said that the focus is going to be on preparing the policies for the next 3 years, but the economy is in quite a bad situation at this moment. So aside from the competition bill, what are you planning to do to make sure that your economic priorities are heard and given a fair hearing in the next 2 years?
Of course, the competition law that we have seen that is there are some loopholes that it's even though we have this competition law implemented effective for 6 years already, 7 years, but still, and we believe at first that this one is, way better than the last one that we have 20 years ago, that we cannot, you cannot, find someone to be guilty of anything for 20 years. So once we have this new competition law, we have high hope for it that will solve our lack of competition problem in the country. But after 4, 5, 6 years of implementing this law, we saw a big merging deal that has passed the competition authority very easily. And one, it's in the case of the retail market, that the merging of the CT and Tesco, and that's that was allowed by the competition authority. And the other one is the merging deal of True and BTAC, which is the second and the third largest operator, mobile operator in Thailand. And it's also it passed easily that they don't, the law even allow them to merge without asking. This is the loophole because for the retail market merging, they subject to the competition law, but still have the loophole that they allowed. The other, the True and DTAC mobile operator merging deal, it's subject to another law by the NBTC, the National Broadcasting Television Commission. So what we try to do is to fix the competition law to become like the master of the other laws that regulating that the market regulates other sectors in the country. So we try to avoid that we have different laws and different practices about the competition, for example. We also try to fix the competition law to allow the what's called leniency program, for example, that is not allowed before. That if you have the cartel and one of the member of the cartel says tell on each the others, so they have to get some waive from the penalty, for example. So we try to fix the competition law to make sure that our legal framework is guarantee the level playing field for the economy, for the newcomer to have the level playing field competition with the incumbents, for example. As we can see that our economy is very concentrated, so this one is just very close to my heart. So I mentioned this first. And the second one is the economic priority. So it's the same thing. I mean, in our policy that we placed during the election, the last election, we mentioned about to find a new engine of growth because we see the lackluster of the competitiveness of the country. And but right now we have very immediate challenges from we can say the China flooding, the Chinese goods that flood into Thailand because they can produce more and more, and they expand their capacity, and they can flood cheap goods into Thailand, and that's the big threat of the Thai economy, as we already have the very poor competitiveness. So this is one of the campaign that we will launch next month, that we have to make sure three things. First is to make sure the law enforcement works, because I think this is the main reason that we have the flux of cheap Chinese goods that is not compatible to the standards or regulation in Thailand. And second, we have to make sure the level playing field, all the taxes that Thai corporates have to pay, those who want to do business in Thailand, they have to do the same. And the third, we might have to think about the strategy protection that we have to put into some particular sectors, that we have to figure it out by consulting all the stakeholders. Of course, we don't want to become like the protectionist country, but if we just believe in the free market and let all the things flock into our country, at the end, our own entrepreneurs will die, and we have nothing left for the economy. So that's an immediate challenge that will continue from our policy.
Hi, good evening both. Napat Sawat from NHK. In pursuit of a landslide victory at the next election, how would you try to balance attracting maybe new, more moderate voters without alienating the already existing base?
it is about to like the repositioning for the People's Party to gain more voters that who didn't vote for us from the Future Forward and from the Move Forward Party. I believe that the working hard and show that we can have something tangible that the MPs on the opposition side is or the mayor in the local government that we can bring the policy into the reality. This kind of works can bring more supporter and can bring the confidence to the people that we can bring our policy into reality. So we believe that the local government should be a great opportunity for us to prove that to the people. This is one thing, and the second thing I believe that is to expand the party members in the country. So as I mentioned earlier, within this year we will have the campaign like the open house campaign in all provinces in Thailand. So this our strategic work to win the majority seats in the parliament in the next election.
Thank you. Any more questions? Gwen?
Hello, Gwen Robinson from Nikkei Asia. Thank you for coming to the club tonight. I had two questions. One was more about a policy matter concerning the casinos and the expectation that it's all going to go a bit wild when the stops come off on the casino policy. And People's Party, I presume, takes the same position as Move Forward did, which is a bit curious. Do you find it concerning some of the worries about what casinos could bring for Thailand in terms of some of the more negative aspects? And secondly, the other question is more about the party and its future. You've got through this recent challenge, but you've got a big one coming up next year, perhaps, for the court challenge. So I'm just wondering how you are thinking about meeting that if the courts are going to knock out even more of your best and brightest people. Thank you.
Okay, I'll answer the first question about the casino. Don't talk about casino. It's called entertainment complex. It sounds a lot better. Yes, of course. And casino will account for 10% of the area usage, as stated in the latest draft that they about to submit it to the Parliament. And of course, we have been working on this since the last term. We set up the ad hoc committee on this, and we studied, thoroughly about this. And and the second time in this session, we also have set up this ad hoc committee and doing another report, which is not different from the last one. But the second one we'll have also submitted the draft of the bill, and we found there's differences that surprise us. Every time that we have done this study, we also add how to handle all the negativities, the negative externalities that we're gonna have once we have this casino or entertainment complex, the impact on the communities, the crime rates that could hike, and these sort of things, and also to provide some of the revenue that we've got from this business, just to alleviate the impact that it's gonna have right after we have this entertainment complex. But in the latest bill, the latest draft that about to be submitted to the Parliament, that right now is on public hearing, those measures that we've got to prepare for those negative externalities that we're gonna have has all gone. But still, we still have, to try to have it back, once we consider during the committee process or the second reading, to make sure that all of the negative impact that could occur from this business should be well taken care of. The second thing is the choices of location. Lots of people have said that we have, a lot of model of choices that we want to make it very concentrated, just like in Las Vegas or Atlantic City, or we have to do it, very, deconcentrate, to lots of area. And how we choose it, I think we have to add the aspect of, distribution of, income and prosperity. So to choose one location is just to make sure that maybe it's the place that it's, in needs, or have very low income, or they very in a dire need of new industry or new business, to make sure that people got some decent jobs, for example. But this is, according to this draft, all these decisions belongs to the policy committee. So it means that it's not guaranteed that they might have choose Bangkok, for example, which is already, have it all. So we have to push these issues to make sure that the choice of the location would guarantee the prosperity distribution. So, to sum up, we agree on this issues that we should legalize the casino, but still we have to be very, very careful on the process.
Okay, that's the second question. And the second question, could you please repeat it again?
But you have many challenges coming up next year as well. Of course, we're not giving up. Therefore, what's your strategy? What's your thinking about if they're taking out more of your benefit rights?
If they get banned, yeah.
Okay. For the cases that the judiciary writing against us, it is some kind of out of our control. All the thing that we can do is to prepare the case as best as we can do. And we think the more important thing is to prove to the people, to not prove to the court itself that it's not come from the people. So the thing that we work hard, the thing that we run the local election campaign, the thing that we can reach to the people, and we can read the policy to the people, we prove the people, and we turn into the next election result that we can run the government. So as a person of myself, including Kun Sri Kanya, who is in the 44 cases, I believe that we are all here from the Future Forward Party to the People's Party. We are not, we don't want to be here as that we want to be an MP, but we just want to be an MP because we want to change the country. So I think that to answer your question, we will do my best to fight the case against us. And the very more important thing that we have to do is to work hard to prove to the people. I believe that is it, and that is our solution.
Peter Train, club member. I have a general question for both speakers, and it's, can the People's Party or any party beat the system? Historically, Thailand has been ruled by the monarchy and the military since the times of Sukhothai and Ayutthaya. It's always been that way. 10 years ago, you had a military coup, and the aims of the military coup deposed the democratically elected government. and the aims of the military coup have been carried forward through established institutions like the Election Committee, the Constitutional Court, the Constitution itself, that were put in place so that the situation in Thailand today is the same as it was in May 2014 when you had a coup, because the institutions are still there. So we had a meeting, there was a couple of meetings at the Foreign Correspondents Club just prior to the last election. And the discussion in the meetings was that somehow or other, however future forward was, or move forward was going to be, however they were going to achieve results in the election, they were going to be disbanded. They were going to be put aside, because that's what happens in Thailand. So the question to yourselves is there any way that any party, the People's Party in particular, can motivate 70 million people to change the system? You have Future Forward had 7 million votes. Move Forward had 14 million votes. Thai people that I know said, well, the next election, either Move Forward or the replacement are going to get 21 million votes. But will it make any difference if the Constitutional Court and the other institutions can just disband the parties and block the politicians? They can block the previous Prime Minister. Is there any way that any party can motivate people to change that system?
Thank you for a very good question, but I think I may answer into separate answer. The first one is some kind of the ideal answer, but I believe that it is still true. You have to keep the people hope. And for the second thing, that to answer more practically, for the next election, I believe that we have to get the 20 million votes at minimum to win the majority seats in the parliament. And to achieve that, we can do many things during this next 3 years. For example, the article by article constitution amendment to limit the power of the constitutional court to not overrule the government that is elected by the people. That is the very practical thing that we can do as an opposition party during these 3 years. And the other things I mentioned earlier is about to working hard, reach out to people, and bring the policy into the reality. Because we have to fix, like the old political system, the money politics. We have to prove the people that the way we are going to offer the people only the policy that improves their quality of life. It can be real in Thailand. So that is the thing that we can do, and we will do our best.
Yes, I want to add a little bit more about this. I think every time that the system tries to beat us, they have to use up their own political capital. And every time they have, those funny rulings and verdicts, they have, have to use their own political capital that they have collected and they have gained for, several years. And I think they kind of have ran out of their political capital right now. And I think we just need more time. And at the end, if we keep fighting this fight and people won't leave us behind and back us more and more, I think someday we'll win. Maybe in my generation or maybe the next one. But if we keep fighting, we'll win, I think. Thank you.
Sean Crispin, Asia Times. imitation, I guess, is the highest form of flattery. Some look over at Puatai now and see a very young leader in the chair leading the country. The notion that perhaps they've attempted to co-opt some of your symbolism and imagery. I wonder if you might speak to this notion that now that you've been dissolved once, twice, and now in your third iteration, some critics saying the C team as opposed to the old A team. Is there a risk that Puatai steals your agenda, steals your imagery, steals this notion that they're the new generation party? Well, we must remember that when Thaksin was first elected, they were think new, act new. What makes you so different from Puatai now? And to Kun Natapong, if, say, tomorrow elections were held, why are you a better leader for Thailand than Kun Ing?
I will answer the first part, and particular question for Kunatapong, he will answer himself. I think we don't mind if Pheu Thai party steal our agenda. I mean, that's good for the country, right? We have successfully made them to, follow our agenda. For example, marriage equality. Back 5 years ago, I was the first one who said that we were going to propose to bill for the marriage equality. At that time, no other party said so. I'm the only one. But then, in this election, every single party in the country has, proposed or endorsed this bill. So we don't mind if they steal our agenda. Of course, if they want to, reposition their own party to become like the new generation, that's even better for the country, right? We die for the newer generation of leader. We're getting bored, fed up with those old generations who rules the country for so long time. So what would make us different? Because we are the agenda setter. We are the first who bold enough to say something. It's even though it's controversial, even though it's we will lose some of our popularity. So, but we have this bravery to propose that, and we're not afraid. If someone wants to copy it or are doing it, if they do better than us, do so. We don't mind. And what would make us different? It's because our party is, very open. They might have very young generation, but look at their last name, it's gonna be familiar, right? Because they are daughters or sons or cousins or nephews, nieces of someone you might know. But for us, we are, we are commoner. We are common people, like the rest of the people of the countries. We have these similarities that they don't. So I think this will make a difference, and we will differentiate ourselves and win the election again in 3 years.
Thank you, Kun Sadikanyan, for the question about if the election day is happening tomorrow, what is for me to be the better option to the people comparing to the Kun Pathongtan. I will answer your question like this. I have to ask you that what is the reason why that make me here or make Kun Pathongtan in the Prime Minister position today? I believe that everyone will answer this question. It is because the corrupted or the distorted system. It is the best for the people in the normal or the full democratic country that people have many options, many candidates, competitive candidates to let the people choose. But today, you can see what happened in Thailand. I believe that it is not good to the people because our current system. So I think that it will be good for all Thai people if can fix the corrupted system, the current system before the next election. And for me, personally, as I told you earlier in the beginning of this forum, I will try my best. I believe that I myself can improve more within the next 3 years. But honestly, as a party leader, that I think I apply to tell truth to you, to all people. If the election day is happening tomorrow, I am now here. I might not deserve. I'm not good enough to Thai people. But me in the future, if you look at me in the past 5 years, when I was a district MP of Bangkok. At that time, I just want to help the Future Forward Party to gain the party list votes because the one ballot electoral system. I, I didn't dream that I can become an MP or the party leader right now. But look at me as just a normal people before I was MP, and I travel along with Kun Siri Kanya with all my colleagues in my party. I'm here as a party leader, so I believe in myself, believe in my colleagues that I can improve more. So to answer your question, to summarize again, I think the most important thing we have to do is to fix the corrupted system in Thailand.
Okay, I'm going to give maybe one more or two more. Okay.
Hello, I'm Thomas. I'm a sociology teacher. I recall at the last election, my students were very excited about moving forward. 2027 is quite a few years away from now. How do you plan to keep the enthusiasm among the youth voters, but also to greater engage when you have Thai putting forward policies which we know are economically not viable, but very popular among the urban, rural working class? What alternatives do you look to provide to engage those voters, but also to maintain the enthusiasm of youth?
I may answer the question first and may pass to Kun Siri Kanya about the policy proposal that she might have in her mind. I think the very important thing that we have to do to keep the enthusiasm in our party is about to keep along our core values, our core principles about to protect the human rights, or the main key themes as you guys may have heard before. For example, the 3Ds, the demonopolization, demilitarization, and decentralization. I think these 3D is the key themes of our policies that benefit to the most of the people in the country. So if we continue to tell the people that we will keep this principle along the way, I believe that we will gain more and more support for the People's Party.
Yeah, about that, I think we've been through this situation before in the second term MPs, and we have seen the day that we moved to Move Forward Party. Can you believe that the popularity, of Kun Pitha is just 3%? It's just the matter of the moment, because it's 1 year after the election. People are not in the mood for follow those politics or the news anymore, and we all kind of fade out from your YouTube feed or TikTok feed. But I think it's normal, and we have to live with it. At the meantime, we can still work to expand our network of youths, of those new interest groups by proposing the policy that interests them. We have a lot in the pocket right now for the policy that we have to that we have 2 years and 8 months to sell them to those stakeholders, to try to convince them to buy our policy or to fix our policy to be even better. And I think this is my job that we have assigned from from my leader that I have to, carry along our policies, the new one, and the rest to sell out to those people who might not in the mood for listen to the politics news or watching the politics news, but they are eager to know what on the table for them to change their lives, to change to better their business, for example. So this is the time to work in the background, maybe not at front end that much for us. And then I think once the election has come, those enthusiasm will come back. Just like when Kupita has reached 46% of the popularity vote just before the election.
Final question, please. Oh, you want? Okay, 2 more. Take your time.
Hello. I'm Chalika Thakirasan. I'm the chairperson of People Empowerment Foundation, the National Human Rights Thailand, based in Bangkok. I have 2 questions. The first one, how that People Party deal with the most conservative nationalist group right now is also come up in the society and create a lot of crisis and problems in our situation right now. The second question is about the young political prisoner, which one would see that many of them still remain in the jail. What is your policy to deal with this case?
First, conservative, nationalistic, yes. Yes, of course. I think we have attacked a lot. We have been attacked a lot by those conservative, nationalistics, even racist, and we have to admit some of them are our voters. So it means something that once we become the mass party, are we still being a reformist party, right? But then we have to, to very true to our principle, to our to our integrity, that it's our job to try to make them understand what we are trying to do. Of course, we will, it's very difficult jobs to do. Try to make them understand and get on board with us again and agree with what we are doing. And it's a long way to prove on this. And I think these challenges is gonna come more and more often since we have very broader base of supporters and they have all different spectrums of the ideology right now since we gain like the most votes from the people and we think we have to try to change their mind to agree with us, right? And for the rest, that those attackers who are not our supporters, so maybe we can we can set them aside and don't worry much about those attacks. For the young political prisoner, it's still what we're try to drive to get them out. We we are in the ad hoc committee for the amnesty of the political prisoners, even though it's really hard to change the other committee's mind to include those prisoners that has been alleged of the Article 112, but still we're trying our best to change their mind. And even though the job of the committee has done, and the report will be debating in the parliament in a couple of weeks, but we will still hope that once we have the draft of the amnesty bill, we also have time to work on the rest of the parliament to agree upon us. And we will work hard on that too.
Bill, final question.
Good evening. My name is Phil Robertson. I'm a Fcct board member and director of Asia Human Rights and Labor Advocates. Since I'm sitting here enjoying a craft beer, and we're sitting here at actually a bar and restaurant, I wanted to ask you about the alcohol control bill and what your plans are about this. I note that the Prime Minister used to be the chair of the Soft Power Committee, and it seems to me that along with Thai food, which is a soft power, you have the importance of Thai craft beer. Therefore, what are your plans for that going forward in the Parliament, and where do you prioritize that in your list of issues that you're going to take up?
Yes. The draft, the amendment of this alcohol control bill has been during the, they have passed the first reading and now it's in the ad hoc committee, and I've heard that our party's committee has very hard time doing their jobs in that committee. But it's still going on, so I hope we'll have good news. If the consumption is really hard to convince people that we, if we try to encourage people to consume more, that's it's really difficult things to do in Thai society. But if we look at the production side, and as we want to encourage more and more people to become like entrepreneurs by the liquor liberalization, so it's another bill. It's an excise tax bill, but it says a lot of things about the limitation and regulations on the production of the alcohol. So we focus more on that liquor liberation bill. So as we think that to work on the production side, there are a lot more of the benefit to the newcomer to the market. Of course, the consumer will have more choices. You don't limit it to a couple of brands of beer in the market, for example. So it's easier to convince Thai people that we promote the production, not to promote the consumption. So we still have this hope for the liquor liberation bill to pass. We have done all the negotiation and lobbying for the past week just to make it pass the first reading. There are 3 drafts submitted to the Parliament, one from Pheu Thai, one from Rome Thai Sanchan, and the other from People's Party or the former Move Forward Party. And even though we don't, our draft don't get voted to pass, but we have like kind of the same contents in the other 2 bills, which means we don't mind if our own agenda that we have worked for it for 6 years has been done and completed by other parties. Even though our bill has not passed, it doesn't mean that our idea is gone, right? It's still there, and we're still the winner, the champion of this issue. Thank you.
Okay, well, on that note, I think you guys have been very generous of your time. Thank you very much. Any parting words? Another phone maybe, or any final thoughts before we wrap up the evening? We have a variety of questions from the foreign press. But maybe any parting thoughts at all? Okay, something short, maybe.
First of all, thank you for you all today, and I truly believe that the wind of change, the way that we doing in Thailand politics, that we want to bring the ultimate power back to the people. No one can stop that. And I would like to address to you that we are still having hope that we can make a real change. as Kun Sirikanya said earlier, that if we keep fighting and fighting, we will win one day. I believe that also. But we are doing this not like a child dream. We are proven to you from the Future Forward Party, which we won 80 seats. The Move Forward Party, we won 151 seats, and we think that we have a high chance in the next election if we can prove to the people that we are here to make a change for the good of all people. So I believe that we can make a real change in the next election.
So, thank you very much, guys. Thank you. So with that, I would like to end the evening. If you guys enjoyed the program, I'm not a member yet, please become a member. And I would like to also say to both of you that you guys are welcome to come back anytime when we would like to have you more with us. Actually,
I'll come back next week.
Back next week for our event with BitCup on the 2nd of October, where Kun Apisit Vechashiwa will also be on stage. So looking forward to that. Thank you guys. Good night and take care.
Thank you.
แล้วนะครับสวัสดีทุกท่านนะครับที่ติดตามรับชมเนาะก็เป็นการพูดคุยแนวทางการทำงานของพรรคประชาชนนะครับก็เราเห็นว่าเป็นการสนทนาด้วยภาษาอังกฤษนะครับบางท่านก็อาจจะทราบบางท่านก็อาจจะฟังในการสนทนาออกแล้วก็อย่างไรเราก็ได้เห็นบรรยากาศกับการพูดคุยทางการเมืองอีกหนึ่งมิตินะครับซึ่งเราอาจจะไม่เคยเห็นเหตุการณ์หรือว่าการสนทนาด้วยภาษาอังกฤษที่เป็นคนของพรรคประชาชนมาก่อนเนาะวันนี้ก็ได้เห็นบรรยากาศกันกับการทำงานนะครับการพูดภาษาอังกฤษหรือว่าการสื่อกับพี่น้องชาวต่างชาตินั้นใครก็น่าจะสื่อได้พรรคการเมืองทุกพรรคก็น่าจะสื่อได้แต่การที่จะตอบด้วยชาญฉลาดนะครับก็ตรงนี้ก็อาจจะอยู่ที่ตัวบุคคลเนาะวันนี้เราก็ได้ติดตามกันก็ขอบคุณทุกท่านนะครับที่เข้ามาติดตามรับชมเดี๋ยวเราทักทายกันก่อนที่จะลงไลฟ์นะครับวันนี้ก็ค่อนข้างดึกเดี๋ยวพรุ่งนี้ก็จะเจอกันที่จุฬานะครับสวัสดีคุณอิงคุณฮานะครับคุณเชเรนนะครับคุณอุบลทิพย์คุณบีบีคุณออปโต้นะครับคุณขออภัยเส้นคอค่อนข้างจะอักเสบด้วยนะครับก็ยังไงเดี๋ยวเราคงได้ติดตามกันต่อไปกับการลงตามหมายข่าวนะครับวันพรุ่งนี้เราเจอกันที่จุฬานะครับแล้ววันต่อไปก็จะไปกันที่คินใจแคนเทอร์เบอรี่ที่บางพลัดนะครับก็ในช่วงนี้ก็จะเป็นในแนววงเสวนาแล้วก็อาจจะพูดในหลายประเด็นนะครับวันนี้ก็เราก็จะได้เห็นการสนทนากันในประเด็นในเรื่องของนิรโทษกรรมนะครับนักโทษความเป็นอยู่ของนักโทษที่อยู่ในเรือนจำนะครับแล้วก็ช่วงสุดท้ายในวันนี้ก็จะได้รับทราบแนวทางการทำงานของพรรคประชาชนที่เป็นอีกหนึ่งมิติก็คือการสนทนาด้วยกับพี่น้องชาวต่างชาติซึ่งก็น่าจะมีหลายๆท่านนะครับซึ่งอาจจะเป็นนักธุรกิจนักการเมืองที่สนใจการเมืองของประเทศไทยนั่นเองนะครับโอเคเดี๋ยวผมขออนุญาตตรงนี้ลงไลฟ์ลงโอเคเดี๋ยวเราให้คุณไหมคุณเทมนั้นเดินออกมาก่อนเนาะวันนี้ก็จะเห็นว่าเช่นกันเนาะไม่ว่าจะเป็นชาวต่างชาติหรือพี่น้องชาวไทยนะครับหลังจากที่มีเสวนาหรือว่าสนทนาจบแล้วก็อาจจะมีพูดคุยในกรณีพิเศษส่วนบุคคลเนาะก็นี่ก็เช่นกันนะครับแม้ว่าคำถามนั้นอาจจะไม่ได้ออกใหม่แต่นั่นก็คือความรับทราบความต้องการที่อยากจะรู้เป็นการส่วนตัวหรือว่าอาจจะไม่มีเวลาในการที่จะถามนะครับในช่วงเวลาที่จำกัดด้วยนะครับ วันนี้เราถือว่าเนาะน่าจะเป็นครั้งแรกที่เราเข้ามาติดตามในการทำสื่อแล้วก็ต้องซื้อบัตรนะครับโดยพี่นันทนาการจากแฟนทอล์กเนาะเราก็อยู่ด้วยกันแล้วก็โอเคเนาะเดี๋ยวเราก็จะรอชมกันนิดหนึ่งกับการเดินทางเดินออกจากเวทีแล้วเราก็จะได้ลงไลน์นะครับเดี๋ยวจะขออนุญาตเก็บอุปกรณ์กันก่อนนะครับ
ล้อครับผมสวัสดีครับผมมาแวะมาที่ชมดูตั้งแต่ม็อบก็เดี๋ยวผมเรียนออกก็ส่งเลยค่าตกนะค่าหนมค่ารถเลยพี่ทำไปด้วยกันใช่เพราะว่าแต่ก็ดูตั้งแต่ช่วงม็อบเราเป็นนักเรียนตอนนี้เราจบเป็นนักข่าวโอ้โหตอนนี้เป็นนักเรียนญี่ปุ่นใช่แล้วโอ้แต่เดชั่นตอนนี้คือดีมากช่วงมาบัตรไม่ใช่ว่าแดดจะไม่กินแบบรู้สึกว่าเขาอาจจะต้องเงินแล้วว่าอันนี้ก็จะยืนระยะที่เกมเนี่ย
วันนี้เราก็เก็บอุปกรณ์เกือบครบแล้วนะครับแต่ว่ายังไม่ลงไลฟ์เราก็จะให้เห็นบรรยากาศในการพูดคุยกันก่อนวันนี้ก็ถือว่าเป็นเวทีสนทนาทางการเมืองนะครับก็จะมีพี่น้องชาวต่างชาติที่สนใจในประเด็นการเมืองไทยนะครับน่าจะเป็นทั้งนักการเมืองแล้วก็อาชีพที่จะเป็นในนักธุรกิจนะครับซึ่งก็การที่จะเข้ามาฟังเวทีตรงนี้ได้หรือว่าสนทนาในเวทีตรงนี้ได้ก็ต้องซื้อบัตรเนาะก็จะต้องมีบัตรจากทางผู้จัดงานนะก็โอเคสรุปแล้วพูดเรื่องอะไรบ้างเรื่องเลยที่พูดเยอะเลยใช่ไหมประเด็นเรื่องประเด็นเรื่องนี้ประเด็นเรื่องพูดเยอะเรื่องเลยให้นักข่าวไปคุยแล้วก็ไปขอถ่ายรูปก็ยังเป็นยังแต่ผมชอบนักข่าวที่ถือแก้วเบียร์มาถามเรื่องสุราเสรีสุดแล้วอันนี้นักข่าวใช่ไหมใช่โอเคแต่ไม่รู้มาถามในนามนักข่าวหรือผู้บริโภคนะก็เหมือนกับพี่น้องสื่อที่เป็นชาวไทยนะก็จะถามในประเด็นในตรงนี้ก็จะมีในเรื่องของมาตรา112ในเรื่องของสุราด้วย แล้วก็จะมีในเรื่องอื่นๆด้วยนะครับก็เดี๋ยวเราคงรอในเนื้อหาแล้วก็รายละเอียดกันอีกทีหนึ่งว่าวันนี้ทั้งสื่อแล้วก็พี่น้องต่างชาตินั้น ถามในประเด็นไหนกันบ้างเนาะก็ยังนะครับยังรอกันอยู่นะครับสวัสดีคุณม่อนนะครับคุณจีนะครับคุณจีพนาวานะครับคุณวิชดานะครับคุณวิชยาดานะครับเดี๋ยวเรามองไปที่ด้านหลังก็ยังแน่นอยู่เช่นเดิมนะครับวันนี้ก็อาจจะเลทเวลากันนิดนึงเนาะก็เดี๋ยวเช็คเวลานะครับ 20:42 นาทีในขณะนี้นะครับเดี๋ยวเราก็จริงๆแล้วอยากจะทักทายกับคุณเท้งหลังจากที่ได้สนทนาแล้วนะครับว่าพูดประเด็นใดบ้างนะครับก็สื่อต่างๆนั้นสนใจในประเด็นใดบ้างนะครับจริงๆเราทักทายกันตั้งแต่ก่อนที่จะเข้าไปแล้วนะครับก่อนที่จะขึ้นเวทีสนทนาบนลงแล้วเหรอฮะ
แบบข่าวว่ายังอยากเข้าไปถามอยู่
อยากให้ยังติดใจเหมือนว่าการพูดคุยอาจจะไม่พอเวลาเท่านี้ไม่พอแน่นอนแล้ว
บางคนก็อยากถามประเด็นอื่น
แต่จริงๆแล้วผมก็อยากจะถามคุณเท้งนะครับว่ามีสื่อนั้นสนใจประเด็นอะไรบ้างนะครับแล้วก็พูดในประเด็นอะไรบ้างเนาะดูจากเวลาแล้ววันนี้ก็อาจจะไม่ได้ถามแล้วเพราะเป็นน้องก็ลงไลฟ์แล้วเดี๋ยวเราก็คงจะได้ลงไลฟ์นะครับแล้วก็เจอกันในวันพรุ่งนี้นะครับที่จุฬานะครับก็ถือว่าประเด็นฮอตนะครับประเด็นฮอตเพราะว่าก่อนที่จะมีเวทีเนาะก็จะเห็นว่าน้องๆนั้นไปติดประกาศหรือว่าอาจจะมีทางเจ้าหน้าที่ของจุฬานั้นก็ห้ามติดประกาศนะครับเราก็เห็นประเด็นว่าเห็นประเด็นในการออกสื่อกันแล้วเนาะฉะนั้นมาติดตามกันในวันพรุ่งนี้แม้ว่าเวลาของวงเสวนาจะไม่มากนักนะครับแต่ว่าเดี๋ยวเราก็ได้ติดตามบรรยากาศกันโอเคเนาะเดี๋ยวเราจะได้เดินทางเพราะว่าดึกแล้วเดี๋ยวก็เอาไว้เจอกันในครั้งต่อไปนะครับวันนี้ก็ขอบคุณทุกท่านที่เข้ามาติดตามรับชมเนาะวันนี้ก็เห็นว่าสื่อหลายๆสื่อหรือว่าไลฟ์สดหลายๆช่องก็ค่อนข้างตรงกันด้วยเนาะวันนี้เราก็ส่วนหนึ่งก็ขอขอบคุณที่ติดตามแล้วก็ดูแลสุขภาพกันด้วยนะครับฝากกดไลค์กดแชร์นะครับโอเคนะครับ เดี๋ยวขออนุญาตลงไลฟ์เลยนะครับนอนหลับฝันดีราตรีสวัสดิ์นะครับผมใหญ่ทุกท่านจากเอ็กอินสีแดงครับ